Welcome, I'm the Deadwood Jedi, and today we're doing another Raid Shadow Legends video. We are in my account today. We are going to be showing off a new speed tune today, which I'm very excited about. This is not my invention. This came courtesy of Napoleon Camembert. If you guys remember, a couple weeks ago we unveiled that new world record speed run of his using a 2-1 ratio without any kind of turn meter or speed boost champion in the team, which was incredible run. But he had a little trick to make it work, which was frenzy gear on one of the champions. So we're going to take that little trick and we're going to run our team at a 5-3 ratio. That means we're going to be taking 5 turns for every 3 turns the clan boss takes. It's a really unusual kind of thing. It's one thing to do a 2-1, right, where you go twice as fast, or even a 3-1 where you go 3 times as fast. Like, these make sense to us. A 5-3 doesn't make a whole lot of sense. It means we're taking 2 turns every time the clan boss takes 1, except for 1 turn. Well, that's exactly what happens here. What it does is enables us to use 2 Maneaters and keep us completely unkillable, completely affinity friendly, without having to bring in a Painkeeper to reduce his cooldowns. It's a pretty remarkable run. Now, I don't know if it's meta. I don't know if it's something I would recommend to people to do, but I thought it was super cool, so I built it. And not only did I build it twice, guys. And I'm going to show you both of those builds. I think they're very exciting. So without a lot of fanfare, we're going to actually jump into the run first. I'm just going to show you the run. I'm not even going to say anything. I'm just going to show you the run in its totality, and you can just watch it without maybe even understanding how it's working. And what I'm going to do is, after the run, I'm going to break down the champions that we use, and I'm going to explain exactly what's going on. So I'll give you the explanation after this first run, and then I'm going to go ahead and show you my second run, which is a team I am super excited about. Basically what I did was I built the same team twice. It was so cool, I had to do it twice. So the first one, I'm using, a variety of champions to make it work. The second one, not only is it all epic champions, it's all void champions. I thought that was pretty cool. And, ain't no Venus in this one. There's no Krisk involved. So I thought it was pretty dope. I think you guys are going to have a pretty cool time looking at it too. So definitely a lot of possibilities when you're trying to build a team like this. Not infinite, but there's a few of them. So I thought this was kind of neat to see and show off for you guys. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and, yeah, you guys can watch the run, and then I'll explain it to you after. For this composition, we're using Suwai Firstborn. Not only is our decreased defense and weakened champion, but also as our main damage dealer. She can really smack. I know I didn't get the chance to show her in my last video with her where I screwed up, but she hits super hard. We also bring in Maneater Unkillable as our speed lead, and bringing in a speed lead is really important. I do recommend using a Fushan if you have him. I don't recommend using Maneater Unkillable as he has a passive ability, that ultra speed. He's wearing this Frenzy set as well as an Immortal set. That is crucial. You need both of those on him to make this composition work. And then very last, we're going to bring in Creela Witcharm. She is just such a good attack champion, especially for unkillable teams. The increased attack bonus, the increased crit rate bonus, both have massive effects in addition to that ally attack. So you guys can see this is an easy 2-key Ultra Nightmare team. Is a little bit difficult to get set up. One of the things I would definitely recommend you guys do is don't bring in Maneater Unkillable. He's very hard to speed tune. That said, this was a really interesting team to do. The biggest thing with this kind of a team is you do want a speed lead. It changes the speed requirements drastically. When you need a champion at, I think it's 303 or 304 speed, 305 speed, 306 speed, something like that. It's a big difference from the needing at like 326 speed, which is what you'll need otherwise if you don't have a speed lead champion in there. And those speed differences are all the way through the comp, about 20-25 speed for everybody. That can make a huge difference. So bringing in Maneater Unkillable was necessary because he's my best speed champion for all battles. Not my first choice, and you can see not everything is like, you know, optimized completely. Creela is very good, and I really enjoyed her. Suwai is great as well. If I had a champion like a Draco, obviously the damage would be way more, and might actually make this comp worth doing on a regular basis. But as it is, I was a little bit limited in where I could get to. So how does this composition work? Well, in order to really explain it, because you do need to understand what's going on in order to make it work, I feel like. And so to really explain, let me explain the very basics of speed tuning, right? So how speed works in this game. You have a full turn meter. The turn meter is a set length. So you can think of it like the length of a football field, right? You have, one end zone and the other end zone. That's your turn meter. When you get to the end zone, then you score your touchdown, you take your turn, you go, right? And after you go, you start again at the goal line from your team, right? So you start at the goal line, you move all the way down to the other end zone. Once you get there, you score, take your turn, use your attacks, whatever it is. Well, the thing is, everybody starts at that goal line, right? Everybody. So you have the clan boss starts there. Each one of your 5 champions start there. And every turn, every tick, almost like a clock ticking, right? Every second, basically, each of your champions goes. So on the first tick, second, let's say, all of your champions are running forward, right? Your fastest champion is running farther than your slowest champion. And the clan boss is always running at 190 speed, right? So if your champions are faster than that, they're going to run faster than the clan boss. If they're slower than that, they'll run slower. So as soon as every tick, you're running towards that end line. So because we know the length of that football field, that turn meter, because we know the speed our champions are going at, how fast they're running, we know exactly how many ticks, how much time it takes for each champion to cross that end line. Well, the clan boss moves at 190 speed. The turn meter length is 1428. Basically, it's going to take the clan boss 8 ticks to cross the finish line. So it takes the clan boss 8 ticks every single turn to get from 0 to the finish line. Basically, to take from the time they end their turn to the time they get to take their next turn. It's 8 ticks. And so because of that, we also know that if we want to lap that clan boss, we're going to have to go pretty fast. Because our first champion needs to go on tick 1. Boom, hits. Well, now he has to be fast enough to catch up to the clan boss before the clan boss goes. And we know the clan boss goes on tick 8. So he's got to be in those 7 ticks in between. He's got to be fast enough to catch and then actually pass the clan boss in turn meter. Because here's the thing. Just because you get to the end zone doesn't mean you score. You have to be the furthest along, right? So it's not just about going from goal line to goal line. You also have to be the fastest person to cross that goal line. So when the clan boss gets to the finish line, gets to that end zone, gets to that goal line, if one of our champions is just a little bit faster, our champion actually goes. And then the clan boss then has to take another tick, because all the champions move on each tick. So then the clan boss has to take another tick. Now he's, instead of taking 8 ticks across, now it's 9 ticks before he takes his turn. Well, if we can get another one of our champions faster again, now it becomes 10 ticks, 11 ticks, 12 ticks, 13 ticks when we take a 2-1 ratio. Because at 8 ticks, we have 5 champions. So if champion 1 is faster on tick 8, champion 2 is faster on tick 9, tick 10, tick 11, tick 12, then the clan boss can go on tick 13. So we know that the clan boss is going to take, we'll have a full turn meter at tick 8. If we can get a 2-1 ratio, that'll be tick 13 that we get there, right? So in order to do that, our first champion goes on tick 1, and then he has to be fast enough to get back in front by tick 8. And then he has to be fast enough again to be in front on tick 1. Well, here's the issue. Between tick 8 and tick 14, after the clan boss goes, that's only 6 ticks. It takes us 7 ticks to go from tick 1 to tick 8. 6 ticks to go from tick 8 to tick 14. It's not enough time. We need to get a little bit of a boost to catch up, to be able to maintain that speed and be back ready to go at tick 1 again. Because if we start on tick 2, then that champion's only going to be faster than the clan boss on tick 9. Well, clan boss goes on tick 8. He'll be too slow. It won't work. So what we have to do is give him a little bit of boost. And that's what happens in this. We have Frenzy on our slowest champion. So he takes just enough damage to activate it. Gets a little bit of turn meter boost, which is really just enough in order to catch up so that on tick 1, they have a full turn meter and they can go. And if they can go on tick 1, they will start this whole process. If they don't go on tick 1, then what will happen is all our champions will take 1 turn and then the clan boss will go. If we do go on tick 1, everybody's going to take 2 turns before the clan boss goes. And that's how we do the 5-3. Because what's happening is on the AoEs, everybody gets hit. That means the Frenzy gear is activating. And you saw we had Frenzy gear and Immortal set. Just enough HPs to activate it. We don't need a ton, just enough. But what happens is on that stun hit, we're making sure that the stun is not hitting the Frenzy champion. Because if you watch the video, and you'll see it in this next run, whenever the Frenzy champion is hit by the stun, they go on tick 1, and we end up taking 2 turns. Whenever the Frenzy champion is not hit on the stun, we only take 1 turn. And so to make this work, we actually need the Frenzy champion not to get stunned. If they don't take the stun attack, then we only take 1 turn, and that'll allow Maneater actually to keep that Unkillable up for an extra turn. Because Maneater's Unkillable and block debuffs is a 2-turn ability, so if he goes last, which he will, then it will cover the stun attack and that first AoE, and that's how we survive. So that's the breakdown of how this works. Hopefully that makes sense to you guys. It's super confusing. If you don't get it, totally cool. Just trying to make it a little bit easier for you guys to understand. But that's why we have to have Frenzy on our slowest champion, because they need that extra turn meter boost to get back into cycle. And that's why we need to make sure our Frenzy champion doesn't get stunned. So we put our Frenzy champion in 1 set of Mortal Gear. That's going to give him just enough HP so that Frenzy Gear will activate. And then we also got to make sure that we don't have any healing on them, because we don't want them to actually have enough HP to be a target for the stun itself. So all of our other champions, they can have Life Drinker on, and I think that's pretty much mostly what they need, because we have some hard hitters on our team. But we could have Life Drinker, we can have Healing, we can have Life Steal set, even doesn't matter. They need HP. They need to have more than our stun champion does. And if we can do that, then the stun's always going to go to one of those other people. Because when you have less than, I think it is 10 or 15% HP, the clan boss is, and you have Unkillable on, the clan boss is going to assume they can't kill you. They're going to recognize that fact. And so they're going to attack anybody else that doesn't have those qualifications. So if we have any of our champions with more than 15% HP, even with the Unkillable, they'll be targeted by the clan boss. And so that's kind of a key for us there. That's why 1 Immortal set and Frenzy set. Done. Works. So that's what's going on there. Let me show you the gear we're going to be using for this Void team, and then we'll jump into the run. Okay, so obviously we're going to use Suwai Firstborn again for this composition. You can see slightly different build to make it all work, but basically the same thing. Not quite 100% crit rate, though I did try to get a little bit higher, and that is going to negatively affect your damage, of course. We do have, these are the Maneaters we're using. Defensive set for the slow one, moving at 280 speed. That's the slow Maneater. Make of that what you will. And our fast Maneater going at an impressive 307 speed, guys. It was brutal trying to do this. I had to destroy pretty much all my arena teams in order to make this work. We're going to be using Battle Sage as our speed lead. You can see we don't have any masteries on her, which, you know, does negatively affect the damage. But we have her in the Frenzy and Immortal set, and that's how we're going to get to the speeds we need. Also, Rowan is going to be our poisoner for this instead of, well, period. We just decided to bring in a poisoner since we don't have Kreela in there. And Rowan actually does some really good work as well. Now, with this, because we have Battle Sage as our speed lead, the speed bonus, the aura bonus, is different than with Mortar Macabre, so the speed requirements are higher in general. Okay, as we jump into this run, I do have to manual for like the first 9 or 10 turns, as it does take us a minute to fall into sync with everything. Our main focus here is making sure that we block the debuffs between the AoEs. So our Maneaters are going to alternate blocking them on their turns. So the slow Maneater uses it here on turn count 1, so that we don't get any debuffs from the clan boss there. And then our fast Maneater will do it on turn count, I believe it's 4, for the next cycle, and then the third cycle we should be in tune. Now the trick, of course, is we are going to be taking some damage without Unkillable up for at least 2, if not 3 AoE attacks. So we do need to be aware of that. Because we have Life Drinker on so many of our champions, they are able to heal back up, specifically Suwai and Rowan, and that's going to be crucial to staying alive. I did have to play around some with their damage and HP resistance in order to make it work. Now, you can see the second time came through, the fast Maneater used their Unkillable and kept us alive there, and we're going to continue going through. Now, we don't need to worry about the stun. It's not going to affect the cooldowns because we're alternating the Maneaters. We're only using 1 per turn. It's not a big deal, and we don't want to use it on that first AoE. Now, this second AoE coming up, we're about to get into tune here on turn count 7. We need the slow Maneater to use the Unkillable on their second attack. And then on the turn after that, before the stun, we'll need the fast Maneater to do it on their second attack. So this is the first attack coming through here. And I screwed up on this run. Obviously, like, I forgot to use it for the slow Maneater. It's fine because we're facing blue affinity, but against green affinity, you would have used his Unkillable there. And then here we're going to use the Unkillable from the fast Maneater. There you go, blocks that. Because he took the stun, we should just take 1 turn here. You can see everybody's just going once, and then the clan boss goes again. And now, because the frenzy activates on that AoE, we all get 2 turns. So that fast Maneater blocked the attacks from the stun and that first AoE. And now we're going to use the Unkillable from the slow Maneater here, and it's going to put us right in tune. And at this point, because our Battle Sage is now at 0 health, they won't heal up enough to get the target from the stun, and so we'll actually be clicking auto any minute here, and this is a wrap. We'll be good to go from this point on. Well, you guys can see that's a 2-key team right there for you. So we have 2 variations of this. Both of them are 2-key. Neither one is fully optimized, but they were very fun to make. Obviously, the speed requirements are ridiculous, so I wouldn't expect anybody to really go out of their way to make these kind of teams happen. But if you do, I think you're going to be pretty happy. It should be pretty fun to make these kind of teams. It's always nice having an unkillable team. Regardless, that's affinity friendly. That's always a really nice bonus. So this one's a little bit tricky. I don't recommend this kind of team. I'll be honest with you guys. And if you are struggling with it, I will. This one's hard to make, guys. It's hard. The requirements are high. The necessaries are high. I don't expect there to be a lot of people trying to get it. But if you guys are struggling with that or any other build you're doing, come join my Patreon, sign up for some coaching, sign up for a takeover. I'll jump in on your account and help you out. That's what I do. I love doing that. It's actually a lot of fun. Also, stop by my stream on Twitch, guys. Like, I try out all these compositions there first. I'm always teasing stuff on there, showing you guys the next thing that I'm working on. It really is a fun time. I apparently now have an OnlyFans page as a result of that. I can't believe I'm just saying that on YouTube, but it's a fact. It happened. Nothing but hats on there, guys. Nothing but hats. The only thing on that page, but it's a trip, guys. We have a lot of fun. We joke around. We bust each other a bunch. It's really good. So you guys should definitely drop by. It's a fun time. That's it for me today, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this. Please, if you can, take the time, subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you know when my next videos comes out. Those are really big. Hitting that like button helps spread this video out further. So you guys doing that just makes me gives this opportunity to more people to see these kinds of builds. So that's always appreciated as well. But guys, it's always a pleasure talking to you. It really is. So until next we meet, I'm the Deadwood Jedi.